make advanced prediction of Indian independence. In 1947, January 1947 issue of Astrological magazine, the editorial he has written, in that editorial he has very clearly brought out that July-August will be a very key time for Indian independence. And we have seen 15th August we have got independence. So these details, what I am trying to share, maybe another half an hour I will try to share these details. The first one, Dr. Raman as the mundane maestro. The moment I say he is mundane maestro, it doesn't mean that he has not written on any other subject. He has been a very versatile scholar, writing on all branches of astrology. There is nothing like he has not written any topic. So not a natal, Prashna, Tajika, Ashtakavarga, Shakuna, Muhurta, Mundane. He has been an expert writing on all topics. You would have seen the books available already. He has written all topics. It is not that he is an expert only in mundane. I don't want to restrict that he has been an expert only in mundane. And each of his writings, they were quite unique. The first book, the simplest books if you take also, Ashtakavarga, first book was his. People have always relished any of his books. Right from fundamentals to advanced application, he has tried to write original books. All were his original studies. Whether it is Ashtakavarga, annual horoscopy, even studies in Jaimini astrology. In the southern part of India, when we were not knowing what is Jaimini, he is the person who has just gone into studies and published a very interesting, useful book on studies in Jaimini astrology. So that way, every topic, whatever he has written, has been very useful to astrological community. But the special area for him, personally, I feel, is mundane astrology. It has been his forte. He has excelled in doing mundane predictions. We have a lot of proof for this statement. I would get back on this proof. And I have also felt basically through his writings, although I just had the fortune of meeting him when I was a student in 96, and only a few years he was after that, we could, not many times I had the fortune of meeting him because I was still a student. 98 only I completed my Visharad in ICAS. So he has done all his predictions, mundane predictions especially, with quite ease and pleasure. He has involved himself to that extent that he has been able to derive the information very, very easily. That is what I feel. Effort is there, but because he relished doing it, he was more happy to do it, he has been able to do it with ease. That is what I actually understand. And every new issue of Astrological magazine, I have 20 years magazine with me, somewhere from 1980 to 1998. 19 years issues plus some past issues also. I have at least more than 150 or more issues, old past issues also pertaining to different periods. So every issue of Astrological magazine, whatever we see, now we have the fortune of having, as national body of ICAS, we have had access to Astrological magazines which was scanned with the courtesy of Madam, and the arrangement was made by Mr. Keshav. So sooner, I hope COE will extend the access to all the life members of ICAS also. We are planning, in fact, that may come through. You will also be noticing that every issue of the Astrological magazine actually has an excellent editorial in the first instance. And each of these, for all 62 years he has been editing, he has done, each article is a gem. And so far as topics concerned, he has never missed any opportunity to write on any topic, and more so because I am concentrating on mundane astrology. We have different, again, subtopics in mundane. You have different like natural mundane astrology, political mundane astrology, weather forecast, financial, miscellaneous, war prediction or accident prediction, any of these. We have seen literature, astrological predictions available in almost all these topics. Everywhere in Astrological magazine, he has seen that we get articles, we get information. At least he has written on almost all this. Wherever he has not written, he has also published articles, taken initiative to get the relevant articles from the scholars of that time, And we have articles published in our astrological magazine. In fact, that is again a very key feature. So for 62 years he has edited that magazine. That is another very, very, singular feat in astrology. For example, I'm just trying to give you some proof because I go with such a big claim. I'm just giving you a proof. I've tabulated the editorials of 2 years. This is 1984 editorial, and next I've tabulated 1994 or 95. So you can see, out of the 12 editorials in the magazine, 1 year, 8 out of the 12 are mundane topics. These 1984 editorials. And the remaining, of course, all are topics of relevance. Very useful topics of relevance. I am not going into each and every line because I don't have that much of time to go with. These are the editorials in 1994. You can see here also, 5 out of 12 are mundane topics, and the remaining 7, you can see 3, whatever my experiences he has written. In fact, even that book which is the experiences are compiled, it works as a rich treasure of information. And every issue, January issue, most often carries world trends and tensions in 1995. Every year, this is also 1994-95. In fact, I think in between, many times, Madam has also written editorials, is what I understand. So there are certain editorials Madam has written. She has started writing right from, I think, 80 plus, Madam, by early 86, 87 itself, she has started writing editorials, is what I suppose. Some of them she has written with byline. The name she has put at the end of the editorial. So many articles, again, it is possible that Madam has also contributed to writing the editorials. But my point is, his approach to the subject, he has always tried to concentrate more on mundane astrology along with other practical relevant topics. Here also, this list, whatever I have given, 84 to 94, 11 years list, we find the major contribution is again towards mundane astrology. And every magazine today is, I would say, a treasure trove of astrology. Not only mundane astrology. Each magazine needs to be read, treasured. That is the speciality. The literature that is available, what is created by him. There are 3 books primarily I am just referring to. The first one is this Astrology in Predicting Weather and Earthquakes. I am not going into the content, I have just displayed the content only for you to understand that the exhaustive content that he has carried, there is no other book equal to this in weather for astrology and weather forecast. Anything that is required, it has been covered here. Extracts from this book only people are using to predict astrology and weather forecast, mundane astrology. This is another book, Planetary Influences on Human Affairs. 50% of this book is mundane astrology. We have tried to take all relevant topics which are relevant to us. Majority of these are mundane astrology topics. Statistical proof, astrology and history, can astrology predict earthquakes, astrology and weather forecasting, astrology as an aid to medical science. Almost 50% of the book is on mundane astrology. And we have another most interesting book, Autobiography of a Vedic Astrologer. This particular book carries the experiences of Dr. Raman, and we find the modality in which he has been able to derive those results. He has explained in very clear, simple terms, very neatly. With examples, it is quite illustrative, and this also works as a very, I have tried to write some extracts, but because of time, I am not just going into reading those extracts there. So he himself says, he has tried to write whatever is actually relevant. Forecasts have been made with a lot of care, etc. And the book employs important astrological principles, methods, with practical application is most important here. All the key charts he has tried to predict. From chapter 24 onwards, it contains the major predictions relating to Second World War. Basically from chapter 24 onwards, it carries predictions connected to Second World War. Whatever 1939 to 1944 Dr. Raman predicted. In fact, that is another very successful prediction so far as the World War is concerned. So he has all written everything, how he has been able to do it, what are the details or basis on which those things he could do. In this autobiography, we have a really wealth of information. So these three books, even today, happen to be the fundamental texts where we get the relevant information. I am not, again, this content only. So with this is basically directly available from us, from Dr. Raman. Now, there is another book here I just tried to refer. One of our old associates of ICAS, I would say, Mr. K.N. Rao, I don't think anybody doesn't know here. You must be knowing. Again, a good popular name in astrology. He has met Dr. Raman only in 1981, not before that. So he has taken keen interest in astrology in Dr. Raman's writings before that. He has been seeing the predictions of Dr. Raman. And in 1989, he has published a book called The Science of Astrology, where he has talked about mundane predictions. In this book, he has actually written 3 chapters, exclusively one chapter discussing Dr. Raman's excellence in making predictions, and second chapter which lists about 110 successful mundane predictions by Dr. Raman. And those 110 predictions he has tried to establish with what exact terminology used by Dr. Raman for giving that prediction also. He has made a clear table. And apart from that, another, the third chapter he has included where he is trying to connect the details, how Dr. Raman has been very successful in interacting with others also. So 3 chapters have been written by Mr. K.N. Rao in his book, The Science of Astrology. And when Madam has compiled recently the father-daughter conversations recounting the most brilliant predictions of Dr. Raman, Madam has included these 3 topics in this book. So basically it is included, all these data is included. This is the book I am just talking about. It is available in ICAS eShop. This works as an ample proof for whatever excellence he has made. Please mark my words, this contains only predictions up to 1981 or 82. Beyond that also he has made a lot of successful predictions. We should note that the time period is restricted only up to 1982. When Mr. K.N. Rao wrote this book, it was 1989. He has compiled predictions only up to 1982. So after that also, Dr. Raman has made a lot of excellent predictions. 1 or 2, I am just trying to, 3, I think I have listed here. The first one is the German reunification. When it broke during World War, so later in October, on October 3, 1990, it again got reunified, and Dr. Raman has clearly predicted it in the January 1990 issue of Astrological magazine. It has been clearly predicted in advance. And end of communism in Russia, the Gorbachev incident, the perestroika and glasnost, etc. Dr. Raman has written extensively on this in many articles in Astrological magazine, and he has finally predicted that the Soviet Union will formally get dissolved. And it was dissolved in December 26, 1991. Well before this, he has predicted this. And even the matinee idol, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's problem in Moon's period, Dasha Bhukti, he has also predicted this is one of the case studies. And you all know that he could only make up his debt after becoming the anchor for Kaun Banega Crorepati, KPC program. So this also, there are many others, I am not going into them. This is only to give you a proof that there has been an excellent approach to mundane astrology by Dr. Raman. No doubt, I have already said he has authored on different topics, but mundane astrology has been its forte, and he has tried to go with excellent presentation, predictions live, all practical cases successfully done in mundane astrology. Now, how could he do this? I'm trying to recollect the same words of Dr. Raman. Basically, in my experiences in astrology or the other book, Autobiography of a Vedic Astrologer, all these words are directly by Dr. Raman. I am only quoting directly from the book. I only retyped for different reasons. I quote that first para is mine. Dr. B.V.Raman happens to be the pioneer in the art of making mundane predictions. He has mastered the extant literature on the subject, compiled all the relevant principles from the classical texts, and devised his own method. That is most important here. Before that, there was no such exhaustive method available. No doubt, his grandfather, Professor Rao, was also an expert. He has also given certain mundane predictions very successfully. And he has got clues from his grandfather, and he has devised his own method of doing mundane predictions. In his own words, I quote, in his book, My Experiences in Astrology, chapter 24, I quote, I had made an exhaustive study of Brihat Samhita, Garga Samhita, Arga Jataka, and other collateral works. I was at home with the works of Ptolemy, Placidus, Titus. This man is again a Westerner who has introduced a system of house division. William Lilly, Simonite, and Zadkiel. These are again Westerners who have done the original work in Prashna, horary astrology and natal astrology also. Simonite and William Lilly, they are experts in Prashna. Zadkiel has done both Prashna, Tajika and natal astrology. And we have, he says, I continue, I had made a series of observations to correlate developments in the histories of India, USA, etc. with the transits of major planets. So Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Rahu in certain zodiacal signs. I had also experimented because there was nobody else to tell him. He had to invent, try, experiment and then devise his own plan. I had also experimented with the lunar year charts and the significance of planetary positions in respect of signs ascending at the capitals of different countries. This again the chart of that particular country that is including. He continues, I would give pride of place to lunar year charts as just before entering Aries, the sun and moon would be in conjunction significantly, indicating the trends in the concerned year. And I would give equal importance to the horoscopes of rulers also. These are the wordings of Dr. Raman. They are not my wordings. So with all these, he has just gone into developing a technique. He has used these principles and finally he adds in that continuation what is actually required to become successful. You can note, I quote again, it is there again from my experiences. The fact that I was also practicing certain meditational techniques and a key mantra not only energized my subconscious mind but gave me a confidence which I now feel was something unparalleled. So it is not alone the technique or the practice that matters, it is the divine grace also that matters. With all that higher excellence in this field, he also has clearly told us. This is a message that I am just trying to carry. It is only from that point of view that I have tried to list all this. So the divine will ultimately probably has chosen him to be the chosen one. That is basically the concept here. So it is not only those things, as we see in the writings of Dr. Raman in all the magazines or books, he has also used all these additional tools. So first one being the general results of concerned samvatsaras. Each samvatsara, there some results are given. They are all there in the classical texts. So starting from Prabhava, you get for each samvatsara some general results are given, both political as well as weather, etc. And solar ingress charts. Basically, students of mundane astrology will be knowing that solar ingress charts become very important for predicting the Navanayakas, the planetary cabinet. Dr. Raman calls it as planetary cabinet. So Navanayakas we find out only through these solar ingress charts. And then the impact of lunar and solar eclipse. This morning also I think there was a reference. Then the monthly solilunar conjunctions, Samavasya Paurnami connections, and then the transit and natal conjunctions of planets, basically in the horoscopes of countries as well as the rulers. Even the charts cast for specific epochs, time periods. Then celestial phenomena like appearance of comets. In one of the magazines, he has talked about a comet appearing, what is its importance. In detail, he has just talked about appearance of a comet. And here the event time charts, basic event time charts like swearing in chart or led. Now we have just come into launching of satellites, etc., etc. So the swearing is similar. Swearing in charts are the time of commencement of war time charts, etc. All that he has used, and chart of occurrence of natural calamities also. Any event that occurs, the chart cast for that time of occurrence of event, even that he has actually used. We see the host of information that he has compiled. Basically, all these nobody has ever told anybody, so he is the person who is inventor of this technique. I would say he is the person who has just gone with this. Whoever has written a book subsequently on mundane astrology has adopted all this. We see whether it is M.S. Mehta, or I don't want to name M.N. Kedar, or whomsoever you name, Madan Babaji, anybody you name, all of them have adopted this method only. And this method has been all in praise, right from those days itself. He has also written that in the book. I think I have it here in the last. I will come back on that. So basically, from his writings in the Astrological magazine, which is edited for more than 62 years, 36 to 98. So it is basically, we notice that all these factors have been judiciously employed. It is not that you employ everything to every chart. Wherever what you require, if you are making weather forecast, then you don't have to worry too much about the individual chart or the generalized charts which you don't have to employ. So you have to go with maybe eclipse can come into picture, or the seasonal charts. You have additional chakras like Kurma chakra, etc. So you need only not everything that you need for making predictions. So he has used judiciously only the required charts for the concerned purpose, but the list is exhaustive. So that judiciousness he has foreseen initially itself. And then this, especially forecasting earth, rain and earthquake, there are a lot of books which I have already showed you. Astrology in predicting weather and earthquakes, or even the planetary influences and human affairs. These things also already contain the details I have already displayed. And today, the technique devised by him is only followed by all the practitioners. I am reiterating the same concept, and I have just added the last sentence here. I hope Madam appreciates this concept, rather subscribes to this view that he is the queen of astrology. Basically, Madam Gayatri Devi also is trained by him, and her success is attributable to Dr. Raman. And lastly, in this particular series, Madam has also delivered a lecture on 12/8/2023 on mundane predictions of Dr. Raman. How to go about mundane predictions, what are the technique followed by Dr. Raman. It is available in ICAS YouTube channel. All of you can visit that and then listen to Madam's lecture. It is around 2 hours lecture. Madam has corroborated all this. It is only supporting my claim. So I just listed that also. So another thing that we have to note in this particular context is the astrologer should not merely be an expert in the particular line. Whatever, whether predictive astrology, mundane astrology, or anything, somebody is good in Prashna and all that. So he should also be well informed about the country, about the Kaladesha Patra. So unless you are knowing about the regional, national, or international events that are happening, mundane astrology cannot be used. So if you have to predict about nation, we should know the history of the nation and who are all ruling the nation right now, parties which are in force, which party is contending for election. All that needs to be simultaneously known. Prospects of every aspect we have to be knowing. He has been a thorough master in that. That is why he has been able to make predictions mundane astrology very easily. So this I have repeated over 60 years. The editorials have always dealt with more of mundane astrology. The list I have already given you. Anyway, these are all repetition. And another important thing I see here is the write-ups in the magazine. He has never left anything, any stone unturned is what I have used here. He has tried to make all efforts to compile any essential data that is required for making prediction. All the sources, God's grace, I think probably he had the resource, all the resource, or people who he was accustomed to, people, rather acquainted with people who can provide the data, and he has been able to get all the data and make the analysis totally thoroughly, and his purpose was to give correct predictions. So that basically he has done. This is another important quality, which is that dedication to give correct predictions, which has made him a man of excellence. This is another thing I hope we all live up to that. There is a small write-up, this particular one, I have just chosen only to give you a feel that whatever description he has made or the claim that I have made, it's a small practical chart where we are trying to understand what Dr. Raman has actually predicted. I said already that the independence on 15th August 1947, Dr. Raman has already predicted. This is basically the lunar year chart, Chaitra Shukla Padyami of 1947, which was actually on that date I have given. So, where based on this Sarvajit commencement of New Year, he has tried to give predictions. He has explained in the entire article the basis how he has predicted. So, we start from Lagna. Basically, you see the Chaitra Shukla Padyami Lagna is already having Ketu in Lagna. So, the moment you say Ketu in Lagna, we always say it affects the common people because the horoscope represents common people. Lagna represents common people. It is general health of the country also has some impact. And then the state of home affairs. What is actually the environment in the whole country. So, Ketu in Lagna ultimately means it is going to be a year of turmoil. First thing. All these are words of Dr. Raman. I am only trying to put it in my own words. The observations only I am just going there. Then you have Venus in third. So what is happening? Venus is seventh lord who is posited in third house in Adusthana. Who is seventh? In mundane astrology, he happens to be the partners in business. In normal things we say spouse, etc. So relations with others, external country or neighbors, etc. So basically people who were with him, rather with Pandit Nehru for discussion for independence, they are signified by 7th house in this particular chart. He has taken it that way. So 7th lord is in Dusthana. That basically indicates that failure of talks. Ultimately, we have known what has actually happened with the partition case. So whoever was involved in partition, ultimately they have not given up their claim for partition. The talks have failed and finally India has to be partitioned into two. That is again the third house that is coming into picture. In fourth house you are having the Mercury and Mars. We have the connection of Mars coming into picture as sixth lord, etc. Mars basically we know is a planet of strife, war, aggression, trouble, all that. So when this particular planet, Mercury, if you take as 11th lords, etc., is also malefic basically for this particular Vrishchik Lagna. Mercury is a malefic, as 8th and 11th lord is malefic in 4th house. And again Mars is also a belligerent planet creating affliction to 4th house. That means there is affliction to landed property. So when there is affliction to landed property, we are not able to hold on to that land which was part of, which is now Pakistan, I would say. So it was again a cause for separation or apportioning. Then in 7th house itself, we are having Rahu. So with Rahu in 7th house, again you are going with disputes, differences, all this, and ultimately estrangement in relationship. So finally we know how the whole thing went. When separation took place, the independence was declared. First they wanted Pakistan to be declared before declaration of Indian independence. and they wanted it to be named separately. They wanted to go out first. After that only they wanted India to get freedom. 14th it was declared. After that Indian independence was declared. But in the bargain, what is the amount of strife that went through? At the border, we all know what massacres have taken place. The communal riots that have come up after 14th, we have seen all that. So that is because of that 7th house influence. Again, you have 9th house Saturn. And during that time, when the 1947, at that time when the activity was taking place, Saturn was retrograde. And Saturn is again aspected by Venus, who is again 7th Lord. So basically, 9th house happens to be the house of religion, ethics, dharma. When there is negative influence on that, the opponent's 7th Lord is opponent. When Venus is coming into picture, they are trying to dilute the ethics of the country. They have done that. They have finally seen to it that India is partition. So these are actually the wordings of Dr. Raman. He has also discussed one more chart. I think I am through with my time. So I don't want to go into another chart. There is a next chart also. Here he has also talked about the New Year commencement of solar year. We see almost, this is nothing but Chaitra Shukla, sun's ingress into Mesha, basically. This chart also, on similar lines, almost similar factors we are able to see. Because I have crossed my time, I am not going into the details of this chart. This also has, Dr. Raman has explained in the chart. Apart from this, he has also gone with so many other parameters. He has also used the results of Navanayakas. In this particular year, Sun was ruling more than 4 to 5 portfolios. And the importance of Sun he has highlighted. The horoscopes of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, horoscopes of Mahatma Gandhiji, horoscope of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. All these horoscopes have been corroborated. Their planetary positions have been used in describing the event. All this has been done. It is there very much. And then he has also related the event to the horoscope of Indian National Congress, who was actually which was the party which was headed by the people at that time, the Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru and all that. So he has actually used all these charts. I am not going, these are the descriptions anyway, I have already explained, let me not go into this. These are the exact wordings of Dr. Raman. I have scanned it and put, I am just skipping it. Before I close, I have 2 small slides here. So Dr. Raman has gone with his own self-adopted mission. I think Madam has spoken about this in the morning. This is again worth repeating, so I am just trying to repeat. Again, I quote Dr. Raman from the epilogue in my experiences in astrology. I resorted to a 3-pronged approach, rebutting attacks on political leaders and so-called intellectuals in the press by suitable rejoinders, building up a case for astrology by delivering public lectures in educational, scientific and cultural centers, and presiding at and inaugurating conferences on all India level and establishing personal contact with men at the top in intellectual, scientific and educational fields. That is only to prevail upon them to understand the depth of astrology. And then making forecasts on outstanding national and international matters. So, was he successful in his mission? There is again the statement by Mr. K. N. Rao. This is also an extract from the Science of Astrology. He says, that word Dr. Raman is introduced by me within brackets. He is in the history of the world of at least last 400 years, the greatest among successful astrologers, the greatest among the successful teachers of astrology. Here I would like to add that if Dr. Raman has not instituted ICAS, I would not have been standing in front of you. I owe my gratitude to Dr. Raman for giving me an opportunity to learn astrology through ICAS. So I again have that, I want to pay my respects to him. So I continue. Successful teacher of astrology, particularly applied astrology, predictive area. Through his books and writings in the Astrological magazine, and the greatest promoter of the cause of astrology through the encouragement he has given to others. This is what Mr. K. N. Rao is saying. It is not that I am saying. He has lived up to each and every word that he has planned to actually work out. And now, recounting his words, Dr. Raman in the same epilogue he actually writes, I hope to be worthy of at least a part of this tribute before I close my model chapter. Now, here is where the excellence of that personality lies. The humility of this particular colossal facet. With all the success, he again says, I hope I live up to these expectations. So this humility makes him even more a greater personality. It is a matter of pride for all of us in ICAS that we are followers of such an unique personality. Thank you all.